Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Chris here from Esports News, Axe Rotation, however the flip you know me in these interwebs. And today I'm going to be bringing you guys a quick preview of what to expect going into Week 3 of Stage 1 of the CDL. So we're back after a very, very long break. A lot happened for me personally. I really appreciate you guys, all the love and support you showed over the break. You guys were able to help me to get 100,000 views in my return to the CDL this season, as well as getting me another 20 subscribers. I've been stuck at like 630 since 2023 around the MW2 season, but yeah, you guys really brought me out of that rut, I guess I could say. And yeah, so personally, it's just been kind of interesting, ups and downs. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away on the 30th of December, like literally the day before the 1 year anniversary of my other grandfather who passed away in 2024. So it was my grandfather's birthday on the 31st, the one that passed away last year, and then one of my living grandfathers passed away on the 30th of this year. So it was an insane way to end the year. Missed the guy, just supporting my mom through it all. And yeah, it's just been an insane couple of years for me on a personal level. But back to the reason why you guys are here. Thanks for everyone who showed a lot of love and support, sent condolences. I appreciate it, but I don't want to get too off topic here. So let's get right into the things that happened over the break. So the main thing that happened over the break was, of course, going into the break, we all know that Legend was famously released from the Vancouver Surge right as the split ended and, went on a short hiatus for winter. So he, of course, was dropped for TJ Halley. It hasn't been announced officially yet by the Vancouver Surge, but, Barstool Sports and everybody else in the community has all but leaked it. So we'll see TJ Halley joining the Vancouver Surge very soon, reuniting with a player who he has a lot of chem with, obviously that being Gwyn. Played together last year on the Carolina Royal Ravens, and it must be said that they were the only two encouraging pieces on that team at the time. So the other major move that was made during the break was, of course, this young guy, Aluka, a young gun, getting picked up by Faze Vegas. It was speculated that he might go to LA Thieves, Faze Vegas, number of different teams. Of course, any mid-pack team was associated with this guy. And yeah, he ended up signing with Vegas Faze. Also, Faze collapsed during winter break, so that was kind of interesting. And also, looking at the last important thing that I want to make note of, Slasher, of course, retired. So that really sucked to see. And Exceed joined in his place. So we'll see if he's still the Burger King or if he is going to fry, not to make a McDonald's pun. Also, the other big piece of news is that Neum might be joining the LA Thieves. So, yeah, not going to get too much into the rumor mill. Just had to update you guys, give you a quick State of the Union before we get into the pick'ems and all of that jazz. So, without further ado, let's get into the pick'ems. We have G2 Minnesota taking on Celium, Headband Celium, Perfect Form Cell, whatever you want to call them, Headband Form Cell, Take the over on AG Pred. I'm going to take the over on the Vegas Falcons. I think it's a 3-2 in their favor. I feel like their hard point has looked absolutely where I expected it to be. Kismet has been playing up. Xnit is showing up. Pred and Celium are Pred and Celium. And then on the G2 side, they are a very, very good S&D team, it must be said. Their overload is also quite solid. I expect them to take map 2, 3, and push the hard points to the absolute brink. But I expect Celium, Pred, Xnit, and Kiz to get it all done, unless they have an uncharacteristically bad day, which I don't expect from those four. So I think it'll be a really tight series. I think it's destined to go 5, and I think that the Riyadh Falcons walk away with that 5th map. Now, in our next series of the weekend, our second and only match of Friday, second and last match of Friday, excuse me. We have the New Look Ravens with Craze, Exceed, Nero, and Lurk taking on the Miami Heretics, of course, that being Trakes, Metals, Rancor, and Super, right? So we have two new look teams. All of these guys are pretty fresh blood to the CDL, with the exception of course, Metals in this matchup. No one in this matchup would really have more than 3 to 4 years of experience in the CDL outside of Nero and Metals. Those are our two most experienced players. Crazy to say, I know. All the unks retiring, right? Shout out to Slash. So yeah, now that this is no longer Slash's Ravens, I think it'll have a new identity, and that'll take time to kind of iron itself out. I expect this team to be good after some time settles. Maybe it'll be like a pincushion, who knows? But I expect this team to kind of find some cohesion. These are four guys who definitely have been waiting to get their spot in the league, right? Looking at Craze, Lurk, and then Nero's obviously been trying to cement himself as a top SMG and just top player in the CDL. So he has a chip on his shoulder. And Exceed, he's been in and out many times, revolving door kind of player. So I think he'll be playing for his life. Now, speaking of people playing for their lives, we have FaZe Vegas trying to keep Mercules from taking the cheeks yet again. So let's see, will Merc get an after Christmas present, that being an embarrassing L for the Vegas Falcons? I'm sorry, Vegas Falcons. Vegas FaZe, in light of their org being sold, everything being embarrassing with the FaZe content creators, a 20% split. Let's see if Mercules takes his 20% split from them ass cheeks. You know what I'm saying? So, new year, new Chris, new approach to everything. I'm being realistic. I'm a casual. That's why I have this as a 3-1 for the Green Wall. I feel like their respawn is just better. You know, I used to be a FaZe fan, but I'm a casual now, guys. I say it every video because there's new people that come along every video. Sorry if it's tired, but we're growing. A lot of people are coming in at different points in the timeline. Gotta be respectful of that. So to all the new people, yeah, I used to be the #1 FaZe glazer on Earth, but times changed. They left my home city. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? So, 3-1 Green Wall. I think Optic. I think they get it done pretty decisively. This is not Cold War FaZe. They don't have the aura. And yeah, I feel like they're just better. Now, in our next matchup, we have the Boston Brioche taking on the Vancouver Surge, the new look Surge with TJ and his duo Gwyn back at it once again. Just like your boy Chris. You know, I just feel like Boston, they're a really good team. I like what I've seen from them. I don't think there's a lot to take from this. Vancouver is going to have some serious growing pains. I expect their S&D to be quite solid. They could win the series in all actuality. I mean, if you've been watching their series, go back and check all the highlights. I've covered every series they've had so far. Their S&Ds went to round 11, two of them, right? And then their hard points left a lot to be desired, it must be said. But now with Legend being taken out the mix, their hard points were quite close in some cases because of the way that Abe, Lunars, and Gwyn were playing. So you add a guy like TJ who's been in the pit. He's been really proving himself to be a standout in the amateur scene. I think this team will do very well. But against a team like Boston, where we're not sure what their hidden MMR is, right? Are they like in the top tier? Are they in the mid tier? Are they the gatekeepers of the mid tier? Where do they sit, right? So we'll see when the dust settles on Saturday at about 6 o'clock, right? Speaking of Saturday at 6 o'clock, when dust settles, when the dust settles in this last one, I think Dan Ghostie's going to be saying, "You're going home, buddy," to Mac Melt and crew, because, yeah, I don't know about you, that rhyme, but I don't think there's a chance that C9 really do much against this Paris Gentlemates team. I'm very high on this Paris Gentlemates team, and I think they are the team this year to be the B side to Optic's A side. They're the B mic, Optic's A mic, obviously, always, right? So, speaking of A mics and B mics, we have our A mic G2 Minnesota taking on the New Look Ravens with Exceed, of course. You guys know I went over who's on the team already. Not going to be redundant there and go over it again. I think it'll be a pretty decisive 3-1 in favor of G2. I know, Chris, you're always talking about Heart Attack G2, Game 5 G2. Right. But here, new team. They're getting their footing. I feel like their S&D is going to be pretty good. I mean, Exceed's always been a pretty good S&D player. He's always been a sniper. If you watch MW2, you definitely know he was the designated sniper on LAG, right? So, yeah, I think that their S&D will be pretty solid, but I think their respawn definitely is going to take a lot more reps and just a little bit more time. You know, Slasher was taken out the mix. You had the whole winter break. This team has not gotten a lot of practice over the winter break. I can't assume that this roster was practicing. I'm assuming that Austin stepping down is a pretty recent move. So, yeah. Speaking of people stepping down and making recent moves, we have the Vancouver Surge, obviously replacing Legend with TJ, excusez-moi, taking on our defending world champs. And I think they defend that DoorDash champion trophy, whatever you want to call it, DoorDash championship they got, where they just beat the hell out these weak ass teams. I think that's what's going on. Speaking of people beating the hell out of weak ass teams, I think Toronto Koi. I think they take it done. I think they take the LA Thieves down here. I think honestly, just with everything they got going on, Kenny, Neum, his twin, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Zuma. If you know, you know. I mean, Jesus Christ, right? I think Toronto takes them down. I think Joe deceives, no believes, no reprieves. Toronto in 5, baby. I think they just take it. I think Kenny is just in a weird spot in his career. I think he's in the same spot as Litigoat, right? Kind of just at that twilight era where he's played a long time, but he doesn't have that desire like he used to when he was first starting, and he hadn't won as much. So I don't know what to expect from Ken. Maybe he comes out, he has a legacy series, he's just a contributor, IGL, winter break was great. He's rehabilitated after the horror story that 25 was for him. And he just said, hey, that whole calendar year, fuck it, bro. It's over. It happened, but there's a new year, a new opportunity. And maybe he moves on and the LA Thieves fry him, but I'm just trying to be the best analyst I can for you guys. And for me to do that, I have to give you the best of what presents itself, right? And with that in mind, I think I'm going to stick with my Toronto Koi LA Thieves pick. I've wrestled with it, as you guys have heard in the last few seconds, but I'm going to lock it in. I think with Real, Joe, Kleenex, and Insight, I like what I've been seeing from those guys. It feels like they're on the verge of a real statement win, and I think it's this one at the end of the week, right? It give us something to talk about, give the LA Thieves something to cry about, and something definitely not to sit on going into the next week. Pause. And yeah, I think that's how we're going to end this week. Hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night. Don't forget to come out to the watch parties this weekend. I'll be watch partying all of these matches and then uploading highlights to my channel as well. So your boy's on the grind. I appreciate you guys, all the love you've shown on the channel over the last month. You guys have been absolutely killing it. You're blowing it up. And that's what the LA Thieves might do in a second, you know what I'm saying? Same with Faze Vegas. So we'll see how this weekend goes, ladies and gents. But we might have some very interesting talking points going into next week if this current CDL weekend is what I expect it to be. I think it'll be pretty chaotic. I think there's a lot of potential for crazy things to happen. Obviously in the Faze, Optic series, Riyadh G2 series, pure chaos is possible here. And lastly, in our last match of the week, there is a lot of chaos brewing here. And also this Breach Surge series, based on how good TJ is at this game, this could be a very interesting one, right? Like TJ was very good last year. He was almost a nuke on the map at times, and then at times he was cratered. So, hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night, like I said before. Trying to give you guys a little bit longer of a video, more in depth, more of my thoughts, just letting things marinate a little bit. Really appreciate all the love and support as always. Hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night for the 5th millionth time, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Once again, this is Chris from Esports News, X Rotation, however the flip you know these interwebs, and I am signing off. Peace!